Yin Tong, over to you. You're a chartered accountant. We're talking to you. Which hat are you wearing as you talk to us right now? As the accountant who's good with figures, but figures he needs to also have standard English at work. Why is that so?
Yes, I'm a chartered accountant by training, and contrary to what people believe, accounting is not about mathematics. It's not about numeracy. Okay, it's about a lot more to do with economics, and those of you who have studied economics, there's a lot of analysis and so on, right? So if I can sort of summarize how I earn my living, I earn my living through exercising judgment and communicating that judgment. Okay, and when you communicate incorrectly, when you communicate inappropriately, when you communicate incompletely, you're liable to be sued, unfortunately. I think that's the reality of it. So I take standard English at the workplace quite seriously. I'm not saying there's no place for Singlish. Okay, I take standard English at the workplace very seriously. Plus, Singapore is a global city, which means that I think most of the accountants, most of the firms would have international clients, whether from Malaysia, Thailand, UK, Australia, US, and so on. And English is the international language of communication, business, commerce, industry, and so on. So if you do not have that common denominator, if you do not have that common factor, one, you may misunderstand requests. Two, worse, you may respond inappropriately. And you lose credibility. When you lose credibility, you lose trust, right? When you lose trust, you lose business. Okay, when you lose business, then you can't grow, as simple as that. So standard English is important at the workplace. I think, Judith, you talked about second-guessing people. Some of the reports I see, it's a lot. They're packed in a lot, right? And you talk about unpacking your ideas. So when I try to sieve through what they are trying to say, and when I finally get to sit down with my people to understand what they're trying to say, it's completely different from what they've written, you know. And second guessing one kills productivity. It really does. I've got more things to do. I mean, I wear many hats, as you can imagine, right? And second guessing, trying to correct your English, sitting down and thrashing through issues kills productivity. I'm not quite sure, whether the government has taken cognizance of that. We've always talking about productivity, but bad English is a real productivity killer. It exposes you. I think the more you write and the more inappropriate things you write, the more you're exposed to issues.
So, Yin Tong, I get your point. I mean, when you're dealing with your client, local or international, you do want to get it right because it costs you money if you get anything wrong. But if you're having a meeting in the office, it's with your colleagues, do you have to be as standard in your English as well?
I think, that's a good question. Let's confine it to meeting with colleagues. And sometimes at meetings with colleagues, you got to sort of cajole, you got to encourage, sometimes you got to force people, to speak their mind and so on, and to participate in meetings. And using Singlish helps, because sometimes then, okay, you're seen to be at that level, you sort of come down to that level, you're seen to be one of them, and they perhaps open up to you a bit more. I think Kay mentioned earlier, I think it was Adrian. Sometimes when you use standard English too much, you're seen as being too atas, trying to get one over the other, and so on. Internal meetings, I don't mind so much, but I've got a stickler for this less sweet or less sweeter, right? My thing is double confirm. I cannot take double confirm because it's either double check or confirm, right? You don't double confirm, so...
It's entertainment, it's a media corp show.
So at meetings, to answer your question completely, so at meetings, you get away with bad English, you get away with Singlish a lot more than if you put it in writing. Right. Yeah, I think oral communication, you tend to get away with a lot more things. But once you put it in writing, once you click the button, send, it's done, and that can be quite costly.